Yeah, Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baharaka Kadash, double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel, who rule and teach well, to the Akims, to the highways and byways, and those pushing videos in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now, this is Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 50. It says, I start 49, Slakia. Yahweh shall bring a nation, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. Now we know when we dealing with the eagle, what nation throughout history has been dealing with the eagle as the symbol. We know the Romans, the Greeks, the Germans, and the Americans today, United States of America. I think there was another one. I think Spain, but don't quote me on that. But these nations have been using the eagle as their symbol, and even ancient Egypt, was using the symbol of that bird, the wings, as their symbol. But it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. So we know today that that nation that is speaking about is so-called Esau. It says, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. When we were conquered, taken from the Americas, going over to Spain, etc., from the west coast of Africa, being transported to all different parts of the world, we did not understand their language. This is something which that has been forced upon us throughout the ages, and now we speak those tongues. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young. And to add to that, because regardless of if you're young or old, Esau don't show you no favor. But even when you're dead, Esau don't show you no favor. Now there's this article that I want to quickly read. It says, Egypt mummies pass through Cairo in ancient rulers parade. Let me quickly play some of this video. Okay. Oh. Yeah, in the article it's saying that I hope these mummies will help revitalize Egypt, Well, the Egyptians that's there now, for one, are not the real Egyptians. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to whether you're old or whether you're young, or even whether you're dead, Esau has no respect for you. Like most civilizations, when it comes to the dead, there's some kind of respect shown. Today, we call that archaeologists. These are the people that go around digging up dead people's bodies, stealing the wealth that's left in their tombs, and we call it archaeology. But basically, that's just a fancy name for grave robbers. Now, it says here, Egyptians have been witnessing a historic possession, and these are not the real Egyptians, of their country's ancient root. It says of their country's ancient rulers. Now, I don't know if I can get back to this dude. Give me a second, Slack here. see if I can find this. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to play it. Give me a second. Let me just play this video again. But there's a guy that came up that I want to show. Now it says 18 kings and 4 queens are being carried on custom-made vehicles fitted with special shock absorbers. Now this is meant to be, I believe this is meant to be an Egyptian. But we know when we look at the images in the tombs, the Egyptians were people of dark race. You know, some could pass for so-called black people, because Joseph, he passed for an Egyptian. Yeah, but the point is, Esau has no respect of persons. Just like it says the Mosai has no respect of persons, but that's being in judgment. You know, for the physical, Esau has no respect of persons, whether you're old or whether you're young or whether you're dead. Esau don't respect you, man. It says Egyptians have been witnessing a historic procession of their countries, and this is the funny thing about it. These people are saying of their countries. When you look at the images in the tombs of so-called Egyptians, or of those who are known as Egyptians, it's a dark race people. Now, we're not saying that they're us. This is a lie that's been pushed. Yes, so that our identity could be hidden and stolen. But we know that the Egyptians are a dark race of people because Moses passed for an Egyptian. Yeah, it says Egyptians have been witnessing a historic procession of their country's ancient rulers through the capital Cairo. So that's another lie that's being pushed. Just like how the lie that's being pushed that those in the land of Israel are the descendants of Israel. You know, when you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and you know, you have the speckled birds, we are the actual descendants of the children of Israel. We got these people here pretending to be, or claiming to be, I'll put it that way, to be the descendants of the Egyptians. It says the lavish multi-million-dollar spectacle saw 22 mummies, 18 kings and 4 queens transported from the peach-colored neoclassical Egyptian museum to their new resting place 5 kilometers, 3 miles away. And all this is down to money at the end of the day. You know, not to benefit no one other than those whose pockets it's looking to line. It says with tight security arrangements befitting their royal blood and status as national treasures, the mummies were relocated to the new National Museum of Egyptian Civilization as what is called the Pharaoh's Golden Parade. They were transported with great fanfare in chronological order of their reigns from the 17th dynasty ruler Sequenah Ptah II to Ramesses IX, who reigned in the 12th century BC. Egypt experienced a sharp rise in COVID-19 infections a year ago, but following a decline in the number of cases and deaths, restrictions on open air gatherings were later lifted. Now, the fact we know that Egypt ain't going to be as it was, ancient Egypt. We've got modern Egypt, which is what we're living in today. Yeah, and the Mosai is raising them up just like he did to the ancient Pharaoh, so that when he brings them down, his power can be shown. You know, everyone's going to recognize that there is actually a power, and that power is not Esau. That power is Yahweh. Yeah, the Father is the Almighty power, and our people have lost the knowledge that we actually have a God, who is actually ruler over everything. We look to these other nations for everything, which,